Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Greetings to all my friends, greetings to everyone that's joining us today for our weekly connection. It's a connection in which we try and create an environment where we can participate at a micro level. We can simple understanding of where we are. So, as usual, I would ask you the following questions. What have you done today for your mental health? What have you done today for your physical health? And what have you done today for your spiritual health? Um, and what have you done for your emotional health? And it's critical that we genuinely begin to look at these four aspects of our health. Start always with mental health, because if the health begins with the mind, it does not begin with the body, right? Health begins with the mind. So always begin with something to do with mental health. And meditation is an excellent method of starting your mental health process and maintaining mental health during the day. Why is it important? Because as we see the pandemic fatigue and censorship and the misinformation and the disinformation is starting to have an impact on people, in which they feel mentally tired, weary, um, unable to, in some states, to cope, and feeling that there's this never ending dredge of having to walk through treacle. And then there are those who are making life so difficult for everyone else. And today I hear in one of the supermarkets, and I'll mention it, it's in the UK called Morrison, a young man, a disabled individual, was a police were called because this individual was unable to wear a mask. I mean, is this not what happened in Germany, Nazi Germany? We're just following orders. But I think this question needs to be asked. Where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? And we spoke months ago about sovereignty, actualization, realization, sovereign. So we begin with actualizing our health, our well-being, recognizing what we are, who we are, and enabling that responsibility to take control of the narrative for yourself is what gives you the power. That's the recognition, realization, and now is the sovereignty. And sovereignty is that you have the given right to say no. And we spoke about this months ago, that we as human beings need to redefine ourselves, and we have come to that point where we need to redefine ourselves. And there is a lot of pressure on individuals from family, even conflict, where some of individuals with a family have opted to take this irreversible intervention into their body. I wouldn't mention it, because mentioning those words nowadays can get you banned and censored. So, but you understand what I'm talking about. The thing that comes with a needle, and it's irreversible. Once it's in you, you can't take it out. That's an irreversible part. And then obviously there are family members who or colleagues who think that this is the way forward, because they are consumed with fear and they want life to get normal. Life is never going to be normal, not in the way normal was. Certainly 2 years ago or 18 months ago. We have passed the anniversary. So the kickoff started on the 17th, 18th, 19th of February last year in China, and it's had the implication. So we are 1 year into it. And in that 1 year, we have realized the mismanagement that's gone on. We have realized that the information that's being provided is definitely not accurate or reliable. We have realized that It is now a question of not individuality, but a question of humanity, collective humanity. When we are faced with a crisis, it brings people together. I've always said it's not love that's going to bring the humanity together. It's going to be, and which is where we are now. So a year on, the fall off of the way this has been managed, it has been absolutely catastrophic to do with children's mental health, schooling, education, parents' mental health, carers, and so on and so forth. And here we are today. So, in that time, we have tried to provide practical steps to navigate ourselves through this commotion, and it is coming to a ebb. There's a little bit more intensity to come forward, and then as the narrative begins to fall apart, much will come through. Questions I think you should ask if you are willing to take the irreversible uh, stuff into your body is, wherever you take it, are they publicly liable? Do they have public liability insurance just in case that you develop some side impact, or as a result of that action taken on a particular environment? Maybe there is a possibility of holding that organization liable as a public, through their public liability insurance. Just something to let people know that you have, if you are taking that step, that you take precautions to ensure that you have the compensation to deal with it should anything go wrong. For those who have been following us and looking at vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and some of the other stuff, Ayurvedic stuff that we shared through the center, will now be pleased to hear that there are research studies that are demonstrating absolutely categorically that vitamin D3, those people who died of the dreaded virus, they had low vitamin D. And those people who have high vitamin D, or those people who are supplementing themselves with vitamin D, have a better chance of prevention and a better chance of recovery. And the amount of vitamin D obviously varies with the body, but in some areas they're looking at 40 micro units daily, but really it's probably more than that. It's probably around 47 or even more than that. So it's important to make sure that you have a good dose of vitamin D. Of course, consult your medical professional before you take anything to do with your health. But again, many people can't get to their medical professional now. So the time has come to look at how we can take responsibility for our health, active responsibility. And those are the four elements that you would need to focus on: mental, emotional, physical, and transpersonal. Why transpersonal now is so important? Why is transpersonal so important? Because it is your faith, your trust, your sovereign principle. If you know something to be right or wrong, and you know it for yourself, then that authenticity and trust is now where the sacred space begins to manifest and become far more far more expressive. So, really important for us to recognize, where are our roots? If we have a faith that we follow, if we have a particular practice that we follow, something that connects us to the sacred, to divinity, then now is the time to grow with that. Now is the time to use that in order for you. We're not looking at third party savior. No one's going to come and save you. You're going to have to save yourself. That's all there is to it. No one else is going to save you. So, in order to save yourself, you take the right precautions and you ensure that you manifest that which is absolutely undefeatable, that which is the very expression of creation, that which is divinity being expressed in itself in all that we do, where karam becomes dharam. Your actions become accountable, ethical, do no harm. Right? Accountable, ethical, do no harm. These actions, when our actions aligned with our ethics, then there is a real opportunity to create a remarkable set of conditions, not just for yourself, but for those around you, which will promote health, well being, and a way of living that is organically. Um, threaded into the unfolding existence, because the way we've been living, as hard as this lockdown has been and restrictions have been, humanity has needed it. We've lived in a state of delusion and in a state of our own egoic illusions, and we still do. And this egoic existence is what is the very source of our pain and suffering today. And this egoic complex, which we call home, self-referencing, identifies itself with many things. It's craving, the craving of it, the constant craving, the constant desiring, the constant grasping, the constant clutching. This is the nature of our suffering. So, looking at ourselves, now realizing that because we are isolated, we have nothing much to do, that this craving within us is always been there, hankering for a world that was, hankering for normality, hankering for feeling safe, hankering for not being bullied, all of those things. That it's still a desire. It's still a desire. Uh, um, it's still shooting in all sorts of different ways. So by looking at ourselves, we realize that the nature of our egoic expression is pretty much desire based. It's just desire based. We like this, we don't like this. And if we can see this pattern, we become separate from it, meaning we become aware of it. We separate, we move from a manamukh stage to a gurmukh stage, from a stage of being fused with the mind to a stage where we have awareness of the content of our mind. This is the door to liberation. This is your door to inner peace. And once this is there, it by default gives rise to compassion and self-compassion. And those two together become the basis of your dharma, the basis of your way of living, your spiritual space, your sacred space. It's when contentment and compassion merge together. And we always begin with contentment. So that's one part of the conversation I wanted to have today or share with you. And the other part was that in the time that we are now moving into spring, you can see the birds are starting to chirp a lot more. Flowers are starting to appear, and yes, there are parts of the world that is experiencing phenomenal weather changes, which, as we said in September, are the kind of things that we will be coming forward as we go through not global warming, but more of a ice age, a cooling of temperatures, not a warming of temperatures, which science will show soon enough once we get once we are aware of the various layers of manipulation that have been going on. So as the temperature begins to increase within the northern hemisphere, we are experiencing spring. It is to use this energy. It is to align yourself with that spring energy. It's to align yourself. And if you can meditate as the day breaks, and if you can meditate as the day sets, then you will become synchronized with the natural rhythm of existence. And then as equinox approaches, there are much that can be done. And I am sure various parts of the world, like Sandra and Alexandra and Pilar and others, can contribute to create a spring equinox ceremony that we can do collectively, that we can all participate in our own meaningful way, where we can bring some light, where we can contribute at a micro level. And as I've explained to you before, it only takes a match to light a forest. And you, I, everyone are those matches. Every time we sit in this meditation, we cultivate a space which, as time goes on, we will realize the value of what you have been doing over the past year through these groups. How you have contributed not to the drama and the noise, not to the fear and the propaganda, but you have contributed through self cultivation and peace. You have contributed where you can look back and say, I did the right thing. I did not add to the noise. I did not add to the fear. I did not add to the nuisance and the dramas that are being perpetuated at every level. And this is what allows us to recognize what is the right action today. When you look back on it, you have no regrets. You only have through humility and through humbleness, through the fact that you were gifted an opportunity, like I was gifted an opportunity, that through all the darkness, there is this little light somewhere that you can get together and you can experience some peace when everything else is losing their heads. And it is grace. What did you do to deserve it? What did I do to deserve it? And always bear these things in mind, for they bring humility, they bring gratitude, and they allow us to recognize that the egoic sense of self that wants to control everything actually is nothing more than a figment of our imagination. And the more we begin to align ourselves with our awareness and immerse ourselves in the unfolding of this present moment, we become not just creators, but we become co-creators. And maybe we will share with you some processes on co-creation as we move along into the spring. But I would like to invite all my colleagues and my friends out there who are listening now and will be listening later, that perhaps on spring equinox, we can create a collective celebration. In which we can participate at a micro level, but it is something that we can bring together, maybe with a bit of fire, maybe bring some of the elements in. But I will request my colleagues from around the world um, to see what is going on, and perhaps we can join in something, or perhaps we can create something of ourselves. So remember that each one of us, as we contribute life, we are contributing the positive. We are contributing to reducing the suffering. We are contributing to reducing the pain. And this is your earning. This is your karmic accumulation. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean you're going to have a good life or a bad life. We're not talking about that. It simply means that when we look back at our life, when we back at our life and we look at what we did and how we acted, we realize that we have no regrets. And we stood our ground, we exercised our sovereignty, and we had a absolutely profound realization through this suffering that we are indeed sacred, we are indeed special, we are indeed blessed to be not just in these auspicious times where the divinity is showing its hand, but we are participating on the right side. Can anyone ask for that? And when I say right side, I simply mean a side that is not engaged in fear, a side that is based on sovereignty, common sense, critical thinking, and common humanity. Okay, looks like Sandra is on board. Looks like Stefan from Perpetual Equilibrium. Yep, I think we are starting to see this where a little bit of ceremony. It would be wonderful. Perhaps we can even do this on Zoom. Who knows where this is going to go? So I haven't planned this with my colleagues. It is something that was spontaneous, but I feel life is like that. You need to live spontaneously. Okay, so let us now begin our meditation. Let us silence, enjoy our peace, and contribute to the peace of this existence. Yeah. Okay. So get your posture ready. I will change my posture. Spring celebrations are on. We're here. Count me in. Hey, everyone's in. Everyone's in. Loving it. Thank you very much. Thank you very parts of the world. We have different people and we have wonderful, wonderful individuals contributing to this. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's our celebration. Celebration that we are sovereign, celebration that we stood to the truth, celebration that we don't advocate fear, celebration that we are grateful to be blessed with what we have. Okay, so get yourself into a nice posture. Just move your neck a little bit just to make sure it's not stiff. It's a bit loose. And if you just pull your chin in a bit, you open the back of the neck. Yeah. And your eyes are closed. So bring your focus to your eyes and notice the darkness. Your intention is simply to have a look, to be present at this stage to your experience of life. So, in order to do that, let's look at what you are thinking right now. So, bring your focus to the kind of thoughts you're having or have been having. What kind of story have you been in all day? What's your channel been? Has it been a channel where you've been a victim? Or has it been a channel where you have been immersed in the wonderful work, whatever you've been doing? What's your channel been? Have you been concerned? Have you been worried? How often? How long did you stay in that space? So this, what's your channel? Okay, as you breathe in again, bring your focus now to your body as a whole. And begin to notice the sensations. Begin to notice the sensations. And if you bring your focus to the top of your head, imagine there's a hula hoop. Allow this hoop to go down, and as it goes down, gently scanning your body, scanning your head, scanning your forehead, your eyes, moving down across your face. And then as you move down, scan your arms all the way down to your hands. Scan the front of your body from the neck all the way down to the chair. Scan the back from the neck, the shoulder blades, all the way down to the chair or the floor. Scanning your hips from your thighs, moving down to your feet. As you breathe in, Again, notice any dominant sensations within your body. And all you want to do is just locate it. So you know where it is, momentary, no thoughts, no judgment. Now bringing your focus gently to your chest. Notice how you feel right now. So remember, all we're doing at this stage is just taking an account, a check-in of where we are, our experience of life right now. How do you feel right now? Settled, unsettled, anxious, calm. Does this moment, is the experience of this moment pleasant or is the experience unpleasant? Bringing our focus to whatever we're sitting on or lying. Notice the sensations where your body makes contact with whatever you're sitting on or lying on. Notice the sensations as best as you can. And as you breathe in, bringing your focus up towards your hips, the back of your hips, and the front of your hips. Just notice the sensations. As you breathe out, take this focus down your thighs towards your knees. As you breathe out again, bring this focus from your knees to your ankles. Notice your feet. Notice the soles of your feet. Come back to the chair. Notice the back is straight and upright. Breathing focus up towards your lower back. Next breath in, you bring it up towards your middle back. Next breath in, you bring it up towards your shoulder blades. From your shoulders, moving down to your elbows. From your elbows, moving down to your wrists. Palms of your hands. Fingers on your hands. Bringing your focus to your eyes. Notice the darkness. This awareness that can notice the darkness is unchanging. It can be directed anywhere. Allow your eyes to relax and soften. Moving your focus to your mouth, your tongue, allowing your tongue to soften, allowing your jaw to relax. And then as you breathe out, allowing your face to relax and soften. Bringing your focus just beneath your nose, holding it there. And as the breath comes in, moving your focus within yourself. Again, just getting a sense of your body as best as you can. And now to just locate this body in this time, in this moment. So you will notice that with every breath, this moment becomes the next. Breathing in, you're in the moment of now. Breathing out, you're in the next moment of now. This moment that you're in connects you to all that exists in this moment. Connects you to all those who are alive. Connects you to all that exists around you, in you, above you, beneath you. This moment connects you to all the moments that ever have been. And this moment connects you to all the moments that ever will be. You're embedded, held in this ocean of existence. You can't move a minute forward, you can't move a minute backwards. Existence allows us to experience one moment after another. Notice how your breath breathes by itself. On your next breath out, expanding your awareness and begin to listen to the sounds around you. When you're ready, gently bringing your focus just beneath your nose. And just sitting with your breath. Allow the breath to breathe by itself. Simply watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Moving your focus now on the out-breath, following it all the way down. Notice when it finishes by itself. When it normally and naturally, the out-breath finishes before the in-breath begins. See if you can pinpoint that transition between the out-breath and the in-breath. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Using your out-breath as a vehicle, notice with every out-breath how your body begins to relax a bit further and further, moving deeper and deeper into this moment. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Now bring your focus to how the breath feels. Notice its movement. Notice its speed. Bring your focus now to the length of your breath. Does your in-breath feel long or short? Does your out-breath feel long or short? Does your breath flow smoothly or does it feel erratic? Notice the difference between the in-breath compared to the out-breath. You are your breath. Becoming immersed in the breath itself. Not just watching the breath, but being the breath. Bring your focus now to the sound of your breath. Listening to the in breath as it comes in, listening to the out breath as it goes out. On your next breath out, opening your awareness, begin to listen to the sounds around you. Allow these noises to come to you. Try not to look for them, try not to analyze them or judge them, just listening. Using your ability to focus your awareness on this sound, see if you can merge yourself in the silence at the end, allowing each sound to take you deeper. Notice your experience as best. Notice the timelessness of this moment. Notice there's no fear, no hate. And notice that you and I are nothing more than a conscious, creative flowing. Bringing your focus just beneath your nose. Sitting with your breath. On your next breath out, expanding your awareness to become aware of your whole body as best as you can. Notice you're still in the same place that you started. You can sense your legs, your thighs, your knees, all the way down to your feet. Coming back to the seat you're on, notice that your back is straight, it's upright, relaxed. As are your shoulders, arms, and hands, comfortable and your eyes are still lightly closed. Your mouth is closed. Your face is relaxed. And the breath flows by itself. Notice that. Notice how the breath comes in, and you can subtly sense your body, and the breath goes out. You can subtly sense your body. Knowing that in this moment you have taken the time out to contribute to the peace of the world and for peace for yourself. Give thanks. When you hear the next bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, gently opening your eyes. Take your time. Thank you very much for joining me today and participating in this collective conscious contribution that we make with the intention of goodwill, with the intention of compassion, intention of reducing suffering for ourselves and for others. The next few weeks are likely to be energetically erratic. Um, so make sure that you contribute towards your mental, emotional, physical, and transpersonal health. If not every day, then certainly make sure that it's done during the week. It's important. It's important to exercise your responsibility to take care of yourself and to exercise your sovereignty. So thank you very much for your lovely comments, Anita, Push, everyone. Thank you very much. Um, I bid you a good night. I hope to see you soon. So, as usual, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe, and may you recognize your sovereignty and your sacredness. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.